Atomic gardening was a method of exposing seeds and fields to radiation in order to try to get them to have beneficial mutations. There were these big ring-shaped gamma gardens with pie-sliced wedges of different crops radiating out from the center of the field. In the middle of the field, they would plant a big pole chock full of radioactive isotopes. Generally, the fields were about 5 acres in size, and the radioactive pole was retractable and could be pulled into a lead-lined bunker. The plants near the center of the field, closest to the radioactive pole, got the highest doses of radiation and usually died. Further out, they'd regularly survive, but would have growths and tumors and abnormalities. The plants near the edge of the field were the plants of interest. They got higher than normal amounts of radiation, but weren't obviously fucked up. In the wake of World War II, people were pretty rightly terrified of the risks of a nuclear future. So part of the Cold War strategy was a propaganda campaign to get the public thinking about peaceful uses of atomic energy. It came together in a speech by Dwight D. Eisenhower called Atoms for Peace. And at the end of it, he said, "The United States pledges before you to find a way by which the miraculous inventiveness of man shall not be dedicated to his death, but to the consecration of his life." A little bit before that, in 1947, a woman named Muriel Howarth received some giant irradiated mutant peanuts as a gift. When she planted the irradiated nut, it grew larger and faster than the average peanut, and that led her to start the Atomic Gardening Society. It was basically a crowdsourced citizen science initiative where members would receive irradiated seeds and plant them, and then they'd report back to the society with their findings. Even this guy with his wild hair was a member of the society. This Rio Red grapefruit here was a product of irradiated seeds and now accounts for 3/4 of all grapefruits produced in Texas. Another product of atomic gardening is a variety of rice called Calrose 76. It produces about the same amount of grain as the variety it mutated from, but it's about a foot shorter. So it's less likely to fall over from the weight of the rice, and it's easier to harvest with a combine. Apparently, it's the most common variety of rice grown in California today. Also, buttloads of varieties of tulips, begonias, orchids, and other flowers have irradiated superhero origin stories. Eventually, though, people started to understand the connection between radiation and cancer. And then scientists figured out modern genetic editing methods, which are way more directable and way less random. So atomic gardens aren't really much of a thing anymore. But you still can find some in the world, like Japan's Institute of Radiation Breeding,